Hello everybody. Gage says it's empty. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hey everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Today, thanks a bunch for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Today's beer comes from Founders Brewing. This is their Velvet Rush. I don't think I've had this one before, guys. This is a big beer, 11.1% ABV, and it's an Imperial brown ale. But according to what it's saying here, it says an Imperial brown ale brewed with coffee, chocolate, vanilla extract, and milk sugar, which is lactose, aged in bourbon barrels. And when I seen aged in bourbon barrels, that's when I said, ooh, righty. And of course, Founders on the back now, they bottled on 07/30/21, July 30th. So, and being 11.1%, maybe the coffee notes might have been a little stronger in July, August than they're going to be here in November, but we shall see. And it has 2021 release also written in the corner of the label up here. So it's got the year release up here and the ABV up here, and then it has the actual bottle date on there. 10 thumbs up for those guys for giving us that information. Says here, I'm not noticed this before. It says barring elements from both high-end craft cocktails and moody jazz clubs, Velvet Rush takes the bourbon barrel-aged brown ale up an octave with free-flowing notes of coffee, chocolate, and vanilla extract. Milk sugar aids in weaving together this complex tapestry of flavors to create a unique sipping experience that really ties the room together. Well, I'm not trying to tie the room together. Maybe a couple of taste buds, maybe. That's about all I'm trying to tie together there. And these guys are out of Michigan, of course, and over to Untap. And of course, Beer Advocate puts them all together. I mean, if they've been doing this beer 10 years, 20 years, they put them all together. They don't differentiate between batches or years or anything, where Untap a lot of times does. And I'm looking at the 2021 edition on their site, and they say it's 30 IBUs here on this particular beer, guys, which is fairly low for 11.1%, but you don't need super bitterness on a stout or a porter or anything. Even though it's big ABV, you don't want a lot of bitterness with that, and that's a lot of times why they put lactose in it, to get that nice sweet taste to it. Instead of being bitter, because the yeast eats all that fermentable sugars up, and lactose is not fermentable. So, and that adds that. And I've actually brewed with lactose before, and it works. I mean, it gives that sweetness if you're after that in a particular beer, without having the yeast eat all that up. So. And the commercial description here on Untapped is exactly what I read off the back of that label to you guys, so we're not going to do that. So we got the ABV, we got the IBUs, we got the bottled on date. It's a 12 ounce, guys, and it's supposed to have some bourbon notes to it, so let's find out. I haven't used this little device in a while. I don't know if I know how to use it. It's been so long, everything's in a can now. Which I'm getting more and more fond of, because a lot of that's in 16 ounce cans. You get more bang for your bucks, especially if you can only have a couple a day, like me. Hopefully you're not in that situation. You're a young buck or gal, and you can have whatever you want. Just drink responsibly. Do it at home or have a designated driver. Don't get hurt. Don't hurt nobody. So we got all of that in there. And it's got just a slight off-white colored head. Maybe a cream colored. About a finger and a half of head on that poor guy, and it's more brownish than anything else. Not a lot of light through here, but it looks like it's a murky brown through the thin part of the glass here. So it's a brown ale. It's going to look brown. Imagine that. So good looking brown ale. Hope we got some bourbon notes in this one. Through the nose we go. I'm getting caramel and toffee and a little bit of butterscotch, and that's not a good thing on a dark beer. Yeah, I am getting a little bit of diacetyl on this beer. It's definitely got a sweet taste to it, but I'm getting more butterscotch than I should be getting on this beer. I'm hoping to get the bourbon notes and some of the other aspects of an Imperial brown, but the predominant note on my nose is butterscotch, which is diacetyl. Yeah, here's what it is. Let's find out. Cheers. Now in the taste, I'm getting a whole lot of coffee. I believe the coffee is overpowering the diacetyl a little bit. It's not bad on the taste. The nose is a little off-putting to me because I smell that butterscotch diacetyl aroma. But in the taste, the coffee is definitely prominent. It's definitely a sweet beer. It's definitely got coffee going on. The taste is ever so slight butterscotch. Not much. Not enough to worry about. If you didn't know about it, you probably wouldn't figure that out. So, but the bourbon notes are subdued also. I mean, if you're paying a premium price for a beer, especially something that says it's claiming to be barrel aged, bourbon barrel aged, or whatever barrel aged it is, you want to be able to taste that because you're paying a premium price. I mean, it's like going to the gas station and say, I want $20 worth of high test, and they put regular or unleaded in there instead of high test. Sorry about that. No, I want to taste it. If you're telling me it's barrel aged, bourbon barrel aged, I want to taste that bourbon. If it's not, I'm going to call you out on the carpet on it. I mean, there's a whole lot of beers that got that written on their label that you can taste it. So, bourbon notes, not so much. Coffee, yes. Well, it's right out of the fridge, so maybe it'll change as it comes up to room temperature a little. So let's let that happen, and we'll sip on it, and it won't take long, and see what we end up with. Alright guys, I'm back. Been sipping on it for quite a while. Not a lot of lacing left on the glass. It's a decent beer. I mean, it's a tasty beer, but if you're looking for big barrel notes or bourbon notes in this, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. These guys, founders, they do produce some tasty beers, but they're very skimpy on their ingredients as far as I'm concerned. That's the simplest way that I can put it. They do a barrel aged version. They don't leave it in there long enough to get the really good barrel aged notes from it. So, I mean, you're going to leave it in the barrel, what, 3-4 months instead of a year or longer? I understand space is critical and costs money and all that stuff, but when you put barrel aged or bourbon barrel aged on the label, I want to be able to taste that, and you're not going to get that with this, especially if you've had some other ones that are big time bourbon barrel notes in it. So, but you can fix that. Like I said, you put your little jigger or some nice tasty bourbon in there, and you'll get what you're after. But if you're looking for that in this right out of the bottle, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. They don't leave it in there long enough for one reason, and maybe the barrel's had beer in it before, so that's going to cut down on that aspect of it too. So it's about what I expected from these guys. I mean, it's not something to write home about. It is what it is. Big ABV at 11.1%, 30 IBUs, and that's about what I'm getting here. It's very easy and smooth and easy to drink, but all the flavors and aromas that could be outstanding, world class, are subdued. So, is what it is. Final joke. It smells awesome. I mean, guys, I'm still getting butterscotch on the nose, so there is some diacetyl in this beer. They should not be there. They should not be there. You're going to get some butterscotch, especially on the nose. Seems like on the taste, the coffee is overpowering that butterscotch a little bit, but it's there. Final joke. Again, on the taste, now that it's room temperature, the coffee notes are overpowering the butterscotch. I mean, it's really a pleasant beer, but on the nose, the butterscotch is pretty prominent. So, glad the coffee is overpowering that right now, but coffee fades over time. So, if you're wanting to sell or something like this, 6 months, 8 months, a year down the road, the butterscotch may overpower the coffee notes. I mean, the diacetyl is diacetyl, and I don't think it fades away over time. So you're still going to get that big butterscotch aroma and taste. So not overly impressed, guys. I'm going to go against the grade on this one, guys. I think it's a B+ beer. I don't think it's even to the A category, even though with all the information, the bottle on date, the vintage, the ABV, it can't overtake or overpower the butterscotch taste that I am getting from it. So you might find it completely different. So don't base what you're going to buy or drink from what this old man says. You might pick this up and say, my God, that's the best thing since sex or sliced bread. And that's cool. I mean, if it blows your hair back or your socks off, yeah, that's what we want. We want that to happen. So we want you to be impressed with the craft beer that you're drinking. So to me, this is not something that I would purchase again. I'm sorry, guys. The butterscotch is too prominent on the nose. The coffee is nice, and the butterscotch is kind of subdued, but the barrel-aged notes are not there. So not impressed. And like I said, I'm going against the grade on this one. This is a B+ beer to me. I'm going to give it an 88. That's where I'm going to put it on this one. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 92. No, not to me. Too much butterscotch. Too much diacetyl on this beer to give it that kind of grade. Even with the information that's on the bottle, you can't overpower what actually is in the bottle, no matter how much information they give you on the outside of the bottle. That's just me, though. That is just my opinion. And like I said, you may think this is the best thing you've ever put in your mouth. So don't base what you're going to drink, or try it. If you like it, buy more. If you don't like it, you've tried it. That's the way I look at it. I've had that. Yep, I was impressed. I was not impressed, or, you know. So that's how I feel about this beer. I mean, Founders make some really tasty beers. They've been in a lot of controversy over the last couple years. So I mean, it's all up to you what you want to spend your money on. So over to Untapped, they have it at 4.12, again in their A- scale. Not quite there with the diacetyl that I'm getting. So let me know what you think. If you've had the 2021 edition of Velvet Rush from Founders Brewing, let me know. Are you getting the bourbon aspects of it, or the barrel age aspects of it, or are you getting the diacetyl or butterscotch notes that I'm getting, and the coffee notes that I'm getting? So let me know what you think, and if you liked it or didn't like it, or if you agree or disagree with me. So let me know what you think, guys. Until we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.